Today I realized some movies you just need drugs for. Hey guys, so today we're talking about the new movie coming out of DC called Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous whatever. This is Harley Quinn's movie. And in this, we catch up with Harley Quinn, and it turns out she's broken up with the Joker, and she's trying to carve her own way of life. She's trying to figure out what is Harley Quinn without the Joker. But because she's broken up with the Joker, now every person she's ever kind of screwed over now sees open season on her because she doesn't have her protection anymore. So that gets her into a couple, rough spots where she's trying to run away from people and not die. One of those people being Black Mask, played by Ewan McGregor, however you say it. Obi-Wan Kenobi. He plays Black Mask, and he's one of those people that she kind of really mistreated during her time with the Joker. And through a few events and crossing paths and stuff, she meets up with these other women, and it ultimately leads to them joining forces to take down a common threat. Now, when I said at the beginning that Harley Quinn broke up with the Joker, what I'm actually saying is DC and Warner Brothers broke up with the Joker. They quickly learned that no one really liked that version, the whole gangsta grill thing. I mean, you watch the beginning of this film and they literally go out of their way for you not to even see his face. I mean, they literally have clips from Suicide Squad where the Joker would be there with Harley Quinn, and they just kind of show like the back of his head. They literally are trying to get as far away as possible from that Jared Leto Joker. But who cares about that, This is Harley Quinn's movie, Birds of Prey. How are they? What are they like, And for the most part, I will say, Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie, she continues to be the best part of these kind of movies. Margot Robbie does a good job of characterizing this insane yet intelligent person. A lot of people forget that Harley Quinn has a PhD, and she uses her PhD to the fullest effect in this movie. She has some of the best lines in the movie, she has some of the best action in the movie, and they really kind of show that she can carry a movie on her own for the most part. But that kind of runs into the first problem I have with the movie. It's called Birds of Prey. But really, from watching this movie, you can tell what they really wanted to make was a Harley Quinn movie. So why not just call it Harley Quinn? Or, the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn, or whatever you wanted to call it. Why had the Birds of Prey aspect in it? Because ultimately, all the Birds of Prey stuff that they do have in here really bogged down the movie, in my opinion. Like when you meet the other members of the Birds of Prey, which is, Black Canary, Renee Montoya, and Huntress, they're there present, and they're there for a good chunk of the movie, but their plot lines are the least interesting aspects of the movie. I mean, they set up this whole scenario about Harley Quinn on the run from everybody she's ever wronged because she doesn't have protection anymore. You could have had this really kind of crazy Harley Quinn style of John Wick 3 if you wanted, but that whole plot line of the movie kind of just disappears after maybe the first 20 minutes. After that, they kind of just focus on the whole Black Mask trying to get a diamond back from a little kid, which is the thing that the Birds of Prey kind of join over. And because we have so many focuses, it kind of makes parts of the movie drag on way longer than it should. Even though I'm saying that Harley Quinn's the best part of the movie, the intro to this movie, you're suspecting hey, we're gonna get into this Birds of Prey stuff, whatever, the title of the movie. But we kind of linger on the whole Harley Quinn spiral into depression because the whole breakup thing way longer than I think we should have. And they dedicate feels like 15 minutes, probably not 15 minutes, but it felt like 15 minutes of an intro to just kind of get that out the way. And it kind of just dragged the movie down for a while. You were kind of just waiting okay, when are we gonna get into stuff? And then there's other parts of the movie where it kind of detracts from the main plot, or at least, what you think is the main plot. And that's because we have to be introduced to these new characters that we never met before. You know who Harley Quinn is, so you don't really need to spend too much time with her to know what her whole deal is. But this is our first introduction to Black Canary, this is our first introduction to Renee Montoya, and this is our first introduction to Huntress. So they're gonna have to take time for you to understand why they're here and what they're doing. And because of that, it kind of slows down the pace of the film. They also decided to do that weird storytelling tool where they have the main character do that whole, hey, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got to this moment. Well, it's a crazy story. And throughout the film, they'll kind of do that as a way of jumping back and forth between the timeline to kind of see where everyone was when certain things are happening. And a lot of times it works. A lot of times it's cool, but at other times it kind of slow down the pace to the the point that you're away from certain characters for so long that by the time you catch back up with them, you've forgotten that they were even in the movie almost. And then the characters themselves are okay. Like I said, I like the Harley Quinn, but when I really think about it, they're all kind of scumbags. Like Harley Quinn's Harley Quinn, you know her deal, but they kind of play her up as like this anti-hero now, and that's cool and all, but dude, she's still a murderer. But that's Harley Quinn, you can accept that. But then there's other characters where you're like, no, you're just kind of horrible people. Like with Renee Montoya, you're supposed to feel sorry for her because she's a cop, and you see her and it looks like her peers look down on her and they take credit for her work. But then she'll do things that kind of screw other people over and like jeopardize their job, all for the sake of trying to prove herself, and and eventually comes and blows up in her face, and you're kind of like, I don't feel bad for you. And then every guy in the movie, I say every guy, like, okay, this is the majority, you know, female-led movie, okay? So I expect there to be kind of like some woman empowerment thing, and I'm not against that. I think there's a way to actually do it creatively and make it awesome. But in this movie, their way of doing it is pretty much making any person that has an XY chromosome completely douchey. Not just douchey, but like misogynist douchey. They all want to make a slight comment about, you know, them being women and all this stuff. And even Black Mass, for most of the film, he's just this eccentric, psychopathic, crazy mob boss, and Ewan McGregor kills it. He's really entertaining. But suddenly at the flip of a dime, really, I mean, there's kind of build up to it, but suddenly he's just kind of like, yeah, I just kind of hate women. You know, why? Because they're women? I don't know. That's just my character now. It's like something they just kind of threw that element to his character just so they can set up this whole girl power thing towards the end. And again, I have nothing against girl power messages. You just have to be good at it. And I really don't get why there was an R rating for this movie. Like, the R rating lends to some creative action, sure, but most of that R rating is just kind of used for them to use a few swear words, you know, here and there, and show a little bit more blood, and they drop a couple more F-bombs. That's about it. Though it does lend to this crazy, you know, action scene involving a bat in a leg. That was cool. Like, I watched this movie last night and I kind of slept on it because I really wasn't sure what was the thing that was bringing this down. The fact Harley Quinn was in it or the Birds of Prey. And I realized it's the Birds of Prey because this movie is set up to be Harley Quinn's movie. But because we had the whole Birds of Prey element introduced into the film, it kind of just throws that whole plot out the window in favor of that. And it really doesn't pay off until the very end of the movie. Literally, it's just a throwaway line and that's it. That's the Birds of Prey. And it sounds like I'm trashing on this movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not Suicide Squad. There's a lot of creative ideas in it. Some of the action's pretty cool. It's just, I feel like if they would have chose either making this a Harley Quinn movie or a Birds of Prey movie, choosing one of those things, it would have made the movie way more enjoyable for me. But that's my thoughts, guys. Tell me what you think. How did you feel about the movie? What things did you like, didn't like? Until next time, take care.